All right, let's talk about what's really happening in software right now. Because the biggest breakthrough in AI, it's probably not what you think. See, for decades, the entire software industry was held back by one single thing: how fast a human being could write code. Well, that whole era, it's over. We are now living in a world where AI can write code at a speed that just completely shatters all the old rules. I mean, some teams are seeing things move 10 times faster, some 20 times, and some are reporting a mind-blowing 50x increase. Honestly, the exact number doesn't even matter. It's the sheer scale of it. The problem of just producing code is, for all intents and purposes, solved.
And that brings us to the real question here. When the hardest part of your job suddenly becomes the easiest, the pressure has to go somewhere else, right? A new bottleneck always pops up. So, what is it?
Well, that new problem is what we're calling the speed paradox. This crazy explosion in development speed hasn't just made things faster, it's actually created a brand new crisis in a really unexpected place: quality assurance, or QA. Let's dig into how moving this fast creates a completely new type of problem.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. The bottleneck in software used to be production. Simple. How fast can we build it? But now, it's all about validation. The name of the game is no longer how quickly you can build something, it's how quickly you can have total confidence in what you're about to ship to your customers.
And this is the core of the crisis. You've got teams everywhere grabbing these new AI coding tools, and their output is just going through the roof. But they're still trying to check all that work using old, slow, human-powered processes. That means every single release becomes a gamble. You're shipping more stuff, for sure, but is it any good?
So if going at warp speed is the new problem, where's the solution? Well, this is where the real innovation is happening. The most important breakthrough in software today isn't about writing more code faster. It's about building AI that can automate the one thing that's suddenly become incredibly scarce: trust.
This quote from our source material just says it all, doesn't it? The next great leap forward is not about production, it's about protection. It's about building systems that can actually keep up with the tidal wave of change that AI development is unleashing. Now, let's be super clear about what automated QA means here. This is not your grandpa's automated testing, which just, politely checks if the happy path works. No, this is about automating the entire mindset of a brilliant QA engineer. That part of them that loves to probe for weaknesses, that hunts for breaking points, and creatively tries to make the whole system fall over. And this isn't just a theory. A fascinating real-world example is this thing called Deep Agent from Abacus AI. It's not just an AI that builds apps, it automates the entire QA workflow. It can run tests on these new vibe-coded apps, apps built with more intuitive instructions, and it can even scale your app up or down based on traffic. It's designed to act less like a tool and more like a teammate that never sleeps.
So how in the world does an AI actually think like a human tester? Well, it comes down to replicating this really specific and very human combination of two totally opposite traits: empathy and paranoia.
Think about it. A great QA engineer has to have empathy. They have to understand how a real person thinks and acts and gets confused. But at the same time, they need a healthy dose of paranoia. They have to assume someone, somewhere, is going to do something bizarre that no one ever thought of. This slide shows that split personality perfectly. One side thinks like the user, the other thinks like a villain trying to break the system. And this is where AI has a superpower. Switching between those two mindsets, empathy and paranoia, is mentally exhausting for a person. But an AI agent, it can do that role switching constantly, 24/7, without ever getting tired. It never gets bored of trying to break things. It is relentless. So why does all this tech stuff actually matter to a business? Because this isn't just about catching little bugs. It's about protecting your growth. And as we're about to see, growth often gets quietly sabotaged in the places you'd least expect. Most teams do a pretty good job of testing their big core product features, but the real money is often made or lost on these so-called simple surfaces. Your landing page is your first impression. The onboarding flow decides if a user even bothers to stick around. And the pricing page? That's what turns a curious visitor into a paying customer. A broken link or a clunky form on any of these can just silently bleed your business dry. This whole problem gets way, way more complicated when you're operating globally. That infamous phrase from developers, "well, it works on my machine," becomes incredibly dangerous when you ship to the entire world. A little UI bug or a formatting issue that's invisible to your team in one country could be completely breaking your app for everyone in another.
So let's zoom out for a second and look at the really big picture. This whole shift toward automated QA isn't just about a new tool. It's signaling a fundamental change in what gives a company a competitive advantage, what they call a moat, in the software world. The future that's taking shape right now is one of hybrid teams. This is going to be the new normal. Humans will handle the strategy, the big picture thinking, and the final judgment calls. The AI agents will handle a huge chunk of the execution, from writing the code all the way through to trying to break it.
And this timeline just shows you how ridiculously fast this is all moving. It was just 2023 when AI coding tools really hit the mainstream. The prediction is that by 2025, these hybrid human-AI teams will be standard practice. And that leads us to 2026, where the key thing that sets a company apart, their moat, won't be how much code they can pump out, but how much their customers trust their product.
And that is the ultimate takeaway here. When AI makes the ability to write code abundant, almost free, the basic laws of economics kick in. Trust becomes the new scarcity. The companies that win in this new era aren't going to be the ones with the most code, they'll be the ones who have figured out how to solve the trust problem at a massive scale. So that leaves us with one last pretty powerful question to think about. As we step into this new world of infinite code, where software can be created almost instantly, does the ability to verify it, to build and maintain trust, become the single most valuable thing a company can have? It's a question that's being answered right now, and it's shaping the entire future of tech.